So ready for the lag, ready for our second last 16 match here on table 1. David Alcaide, Jeffrey Ignacio.
Yeah, David, if there's anything I've seen on this table, and we've covered it all week, is that they just don't quite get it to the top rail during the lag. Pretty interesting dynamic here. I think Ignacio, a lot different than Alcaide as far as style. He's loose, pretty quick, got a lot of power. Alcaide more tactical. He's got a pretty good starter to open this match up. A lot hanging in the balance. The winner of this guaranteed $27,000. As of right now, they both have $15,000 locked up. Can he come over just below the 7, somewhere on that line? Oh, he's really gotten into this ball. And he's going to get away with it, and this is going to end up perfect because he's got the line to go back up towards the pink to the top left. Notice the purple nearest the 6 in the lower right. So out of the gate, not seeing much trouble. It's all in Ignacio's hands.
Side.
To settle. I think he's going to be fine, and he is. He's a quick player, David. Gets over the ball and really pulls the trigger. It doesn't waste any time. Natural stroke. He loves to juice the cue ball up. I put him as a slight favorite in this match, especially since he's made it this far in the event.
Yeah, yet another talent out of the Philippines, just 31 years of age, 87 in the world rankings, but that doesn't mean anything. He's here in the last 16 of the World Championship. Knows he's got to play well at this stage, particularly against a proven winner in the shape of David Alcaide. And this is a bright start, assuming he knocks this in. Yeah, great stuff from Jeffrey Ignacio to, in no time at all, account for the opening rack. Well, of course, his compatriot lost yesterday, FSR, David Alcaide, but got all the experience in the world, as you say. A couple of sort of quite scrappy matches he came through yesterday, particularly against Jason Shaw. He came through it, that's the key thing.
Yeah, Dave, he got a little fortunate at times, but it was a scrappy match. It was just one of those matches where it could have been really anybody's game. Neither player seemed comfortable throughout that match. David, well, he was the better player, defeating Jason Shaw. Those a little thick, I think. Yeah, he got him a little thick. That's why the one tracked high of the right middle. This is a big opportunity for Alcaide. Everything open. Maybe down the road a little trouble with the 7, but I don't know. It looks like it might even pass the 8. The 9 looming over the lower right corner. Doesn't want to deal with that. This is a good starter for David. Say if there's anything he suffers from, it's probably the long distance plays. He's pretty good with the cue ball. Likes to stay nice and tight. Wants to be where he's always playing it. He doesn't like to get out of line. Obviously, nobody does, but he's pretty big on staying in line. As my colleague mentioned, there is a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per game.
Time.
Phil Yates yesterday touched on that with David Alcaide. He thinks, and I agree, he thinks that the 30-second shot clock helps Alcaide because Alcaide can, at times, tend to talk himself out of certain situations.
Yeah, it focuses the mind, doesn't it? You know, it takes away that doubt.
Yeah, a little light there. It's manageable. That shot coming back and forth, easy to let up on. Because in the back of your mind, you're always feeling like you can overhit it. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball here, Dave. Just back and forth. 6 plays in the lower right. A very clean strike. A good sign for Alcaide. Now, does the 7 play in the top left? If he needed to, he could come all the way over. He's got the line. Now this is got to slow down. Could end up perfect.
Time.
Oh, and just really quick and overcooked it there. Wow.
Maybe that's an example of with the shot clock. Actually, he could have done with a little bit longer. Anyway, he surely handed this rack to Ignacio. His compatriot from the Philippines, Johan Chua, is on the hill against Mohamed Soufi. 10-7, just had a golden break actually to win that 17th rack. That's on the main table right now. So that one slip up from Alcaide cost him, and Ignacio leads 2 racks to 0. Yeah, kind of bit of a body blow for the Spaniard this early on when he's just looking to get on that scoreboard. Nothing I'm sure he hasn't seen before though over the years.
Ignacio always has the same look, and like most Filipinos, just doesn't have too many expressions. I'd say out of all the Filipinos, Alex Pagulayan, and he's really, you know, from Toronto, Canada. I still call him a Filipino. He's probably got by far the most emotion. Oh, and this is another clean hit. Does he have a good look on the 2? Okay, he can play the 2 in the left middle if needed. He can also play it in the upper left. Looks like he's going to go to the left middle and come up and take the cut on the 3. If he gets past the 3, everything opens up. Needs us to travel a little. See how quick he is, Dave? Gets over the ball and just lets it go.
Yeah, he's got a certain presence for sure at the table. Did one of his matches the other day and felt that then.
He needs an angle here. The 6 up top. Yeah, pretty well done if it gets off the rail. It's a little flatter than he wished, though. This is something he likes to do. I don't know if he's going to play it, but really gets into the cue ball. Wrapping that cue ball 2 rails around above the 7, but the top right corner is in play, so that might be a concern of his.
Finish it. Scratch the ball.
Doesn't want to scratch. Cue ball could really release off that 2nd rail if he goes that route. Can he go forward? Yeah, look at the bend. He's bent that or overstroked it so much. Well, it released there. Thought he's going to end up on top of it, Dave.
Well, looks like he looks like he's covered this.
Yeah, Alcaide, not impressed by that result. I think that's the only flaw, or a big flaw, of Ignacio. Once over the ball, he's so quick at times, capable of making a careless error. This is where the shot clock could also hurt David, because he's so good tactically. When he has time to figure it out, he can really damage you. Is he swerving this? Okay, he's going into the back. It's probably going to end up bad. Well, I don't know, Dave. Could have been worse, maybe? Does the 6 have a pocket? He's going to glue him to the 9.
Looks like Mohamed Soufi is going to pull one back on the main table. 10-8 it will be to Ignacio. So a bit of a thriller there.
Yeah, and here at this table, this is a very tough hit. That cue ball stretched out off the top rail. These tables in great condition. Fresh cloth. Yes, they've been played on all week, but still fairly fresh cloth, and it's going to lengthen out anytime you're using a high ball like that. I know he knew that. Made the adjustment, just not enough.
So, looking like 3-0. Of course, we saw Mickey Krause in the last match lead 4-0, so these are still early days, but so far Alcaide not able to make much impact. Yeah, so in it goes, 3-0, and he's good value, I think, for that lead so far. To say, Alcaide just yet to really get going. Race to 11, as it will be in the quarters and semis. The final race to 15 on Saturday evening. There's going to be some atmosphere in the room for that match.
This is almost reminiscent of the last match we just watched. Mickey Krause took a early lead. Watch the cue ball up here. The cue ball is going to get kissed by the blue two. Not sure how they finished. He's got some type of shot on it, I believe. Well, completely covered by the three.
Push, push, push.
If you're just joining us, the player at the table has to call a rollout or a push here. He can push the cue ball anywhere he'd like, legally. The oncoming player, which is Alcaide, will have the option to take the shot or give it back. He's returning it here. And a little bit surprised by that. I think that, yeah, I think banking the two up to the right of the green and trying to track behind the purple is on. Oh, he's double kissed it. So the wise decision by Alcaide. Challenges here. Typically these guys are not big on rolling the ball. And that's where this problem comes into play. Felt like he could roll that and just take a longer play on the three. I don't know, maybe it was too steep. He's got a pretty straightforward defensive shot. If he wants to take it, he can really butter him up behind the pink.
Extension.
Decision to make. Trailing 3-0. Do you get aggressive or stay defensive?
He's taking his time extension. The player's allowed one per rack.
Like the decision. This is what David Alcaide does. He's typically playing the right shot, and that's why he's had the career he's had. It takes a lot of maturity to be down 3-0, and I'm not picking on our last player, Mickey Krause, but Mickey Krause, well, he probably would have banked at it. He's very aggressive. And a nice hit there, and it's, I think, going to pan out for him, Dave.
Yeah, sort of half apologised. Only half, mind.
Yeah, I still don't know what to think about the apologies, because there's so much involved in the game. Kind of make your own luck. He made a great hit. He's trying to swerve around the green. Just a fraction thin. He's going to sell the three out.
Yeah, no one's really sorry. You know, if he was sorry, he wouldn't clear the balls there. It's just something that you see. It's almost more an acknowledgement than an apology, I guess. Anyway, this is the time to be ruthless because he's very much on top in this match with a chance to get to 4.
Yeah, ruthless, a great word. That's what you have to be, stone cold killer in these situations. And I can't fault Alcaide for the defensive play he made. I think percentage-wise, it's the right shot. You're going to come up with a shot more often than not. Credit to Ignacio for making a good hit, and here we are. He's fallen a fraction short of the mark, so he might have to send the cue ball to the left long rail and back out.
On the main table has a chance to put himself into the quarterfinals. He's on the 6-10-8 up, and the 8 is down, so it's 2 balls to go for Chua, another talent from the Philippines.
Yeah, the fan favorite was Sufi.
Well, this for a 4-0 lead, and good value for it. Had a little bit of fortune maybe in that one, but even so, he then had to step in and make the winning run, and that's what he's done. And he might just want to look up at the big screen here, because his friend and compatriot has the 9 to beat Sufi. Johan Chua, you'll hear the cheer. There it is. He clenched his fist in absolute delight. Mohamed Sufi, runner-up last year, but departs in the last 16 this year, and it is Johan Chua who goes forward, and of course he will play the man we saw come through earlier, Dang Jinhu, on this table. Quarterfinals all played this evening, and also the junior final will be played as well. They've had a busy week, the youngsters. It's been very competitive. I don't think that was all a bit of fun either. We've seen a lot of heartache and a lot of joy in that event, and we'll see the final later. Well, Alcaide has just, I think, left the room. So, a little bit similar to the first match, as we were saying. That was 4-0. That turned around. It can happen, but it's going to have to kind of be soon.
Yeah, in these formats, it's real tough to make that up, especially under the gun.
Just on that junior final, that'll be at 7 o'clock tonight local time. Ivan Rudenko from Ukraine against Felix Vogel from Germany, so that'll be the match, and well, good luck to them. That'll be streamed on table 2, so you can watch that later on. Next match on the main table, Joshua Filler, Anton Raga.
That'll be a great match. Do you know what time that starts, Dave?
Should be, I guess, about 10 minutes from now, once they've done the interviews and got everything ready. So yeah, about 10 minutes from now, and we'll continue here when Alcaide returns. Alcaide just went out the arena, maybe just to G himself up a little. 4-0, long way to go, race to 11, but gonna have to get involved soon.
And here we see it again. Maybe he caught the one a bit thick again. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like a pretty good hit there. Nothing down. Pretty awkward. That's why you see the shake of the head from Alcaide. Reason being is the cue ball is tracking towards the right long rail. The 2, you know, pretty covered up by the green 6. That is the 2 on the lower left-hand side of the screen. So, he's going to have to put something into this. Oh, yeah, that's a nice shot. He didn't get the underspin that he really looked for there. Now he's falling pretty awkward. He hit the ball clean. That was a good sign for Alcaide. Split the pocket.
Extension.
But now, how do you get out of this area where the 2 is at? Does he split the gap between the 6 and 9? Come just above the right-hand side pocket? Oh, now it looks like he's going forward. He's measuring it out. As David mentioned just a little bit ago, we have a 30-second shot clock. He has 1 extension. Oh, this is well handled. Very well handled from there. Okay, 2 rails. Needs it to carry. Yeah, needs it to carry. What happens on this newer cloth is that cue ball bends very easily, but off the second rail, it's not going to bite as much. It kind of just dies. So if you're going to shoot that shot like that, you've got to hit it with more speed. We've seen it over and over and over. He should be okay. He can dig here. He's close to the ball. Oh, he's miscued. He's miscued, David.
Incredible. Yeah, unexpected, and just as he was starting to look good and starting to threaten to get on the scoreboard, it's always a bit embarrassing like that for the players, and he's going to do a little bit of work on the tip in the seat.
Yeah, it's pretty clever right there. Use the purple 5. Gained coverage from the 6, the 9, and the 7. Going to the long rail. 1 rail from the top end here. Needs to make contact. Is he going to get any love? Going to use the 7 and 9 again. And this pretty good 6 cutting him off from the right long rail below the side pocket. Going to get to the right long rail above the side pocket. He's going to bend this with a low cue ball to shorten it up. Watch the cue ball here. He's going to go right into the drink.
Wow, what a nightmare this is turning into for David Alcaide. Everything going wrong that can.
not necessary. Really not necessary. To Ignacio's games, he gets so quick at times once down on the ball. He's going to probably leave a piece of this, if not all, of the 5. So a big reprieve for Alcaide. Very rarely, David, do we see an elite player with ball in hand with an open table get 1 ball.
Attention.
I think you can see enough of the 5 to bank it if he'd like. Looking to play it off the back of the 8. Is that as high a percentage as the bank? Well, I guess it is. Now what? Chipping off the 6, coming up behind the 7.
Pretty cagey rack this, but still an important one. Obviously Alcaide just desperate to get something going, get the break going into the next rack.
And David said, the heck with this. I'm just going to let it fly, see what happens. I believe the bank is on here. He could possibly stun down. It looks like he's going to go up behind the 8. Or at least try and use the 7 and 9. Failed on both ends of that. This is a nice hit. Well, is it just not David's day? Can you see a piece of it? Wow.
That filler raga match has just started on the main table.
Got away from him a little bit. I think he felt like he could play a 2-way there, playing the 6 to the top left, staying close to the 7. This is this type of shot that Ignacio gets up for. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the hit. Still didn't get it there, Dave. But what a play.
Yeah. And no thoughts of certainly backing away.
Well, he is the type to cut this in without hesitation.
Set.
Yeah, that's a bit weak. Alcaide probably looking to chip the top of the 7. Try and bring it down here behind the 9 and use the 8 as well. could bank at it. And chipping away. Valiant effort. Still not straightforward. This ending up on the rail.
Well, it just got there. It's been a rather scratchy rack this, but Alcaide just wants to be on that scoreboard and build from there with the break in the next frame. Sorry, the next rack, I should say. First time said frame all week. Could have left it easier. Yeah, but he still fancied him for it, so David Alcaide then won quite a lengthy rack there, and well, as we saw in the first match of the day, you know, it can turn around quite dramatically once the player's on the scoreboard, and he is. He trails 4-1. Of course, there's still a chance for the three Filipinos left to all win today. We've had one through already. The great Efren Reyes is here to monitor it all and no doubt inspire them. So let's see if that's the start of something or not. We'll see how his break is looking here.
Something we saw probably over a dozen times yesterday. The players asking to have the cue ball re-cleaned. Obviously, this is prior to the break. Intense focus by Alcaide. Needs something good here. Well, you can't ask for much more than this. The one is down. He's got a good look at the two. And really, not a lot of trouble if he gets this two down. The 4 leads to the 5, the 2 leads to the 3, the 6 up by the 7. Just a matter of connecting the dots. Yeah, a little weak. Want to get another 2 or 3 rotations out of that. He should be fine going up and back. Very nice. I feel like he wants to come to the right side of the table here. That way he's always going back towards the 6. You don't have to contest with the 9. Yeah, this will be all right. A little awkward. Kind of like half straight in. He can draw back, I believe. I don't think it's steep enough angled where he has to punch down. Yeah, he can just draw straight back.
Feels like he's been battling to find something in the match, but you've got to battle, and in an event like this, it's worth doing so. David Alcaide, very experienced campaigner.
Yeah, and I think that experience could really show up in this match. He's overdrawn it just a fraction. He's on the right side of the ball, though, so that's good news. He'll be fine.
So this for his second rack on the spin. Alcaide's arrived in this match. He seems to have just struggled a little bit with the table, although of course he did play on it last night, so he has played a match on it pretty recently. But anyway, he's won the racket trials 4-2.
Are we looking at a similar pattern that we just saw in the last match? Mickey Krause was leading 4-0. Well, Ignacio was just leading 4-0.
Yeah, and they both made a really confident start. It wasn't just the scoreline, was it? It was how good they were looking, the shots they were making, but that one turned around. There was, 9 racks in a row, actually. He lost after that, Mickey Krause, and lost the match, ultimately.
How's this going to finish? Looks pretty good. I think he can manage the 2 in the lower left. Yeah, this isn't the end of the world here. Matter of fact, if he can contact the bottom piece of that 9, I think it helps him carry a line back over for the 3 to the top right. Can he get enough into the 9 to draw it? No, yeah, I think he's going to go forward, just catch a piece of the 9. Watch the middle pocket. Yeah, and that's not something he thought about. I didn't expect that he could go through it that cleanly either. So a little bit unlucky to come off the 9 like that and just go straight into the middle. Neither here nor there. Big opportunity for Jeffrey. Bit of a stroke shot coming up here. He's got to make his mind up. Can he play it to the short side, or does he want to really power it? Try and suck over to the right side of the 5. Yeah, so he caught more of a full ball playing it to the short side, and he's dipped below the 5 here. Is this so thin that he's worried about contacting the 9 up table? He can definitely cut it into the lower right. Might have to elevate. Yeah, and he is. Yeah, pretty good there by Ignacio.
So the scratch from Alcaide looking costly, as he was hoping to do what we saw in the first match, and once he'd won a rack, really get on a run. That stopped him in his tracks. Ignacio for 5-2. Yeah, it's shaping up so far to be a good day for the Philippines, isn't it? We've seen Yan Chu already through. Of course, Anton Raga on the main table, 1 each actually with Joshua Filler. Felt like a bit of a gift that. It was an unexpected moment. Alcaide not quite at the races yet, you've got to say, overall.
Yeah, I think that's a massive turning point, the scratch. It's going to be within 1 most likely. Now, down 3.
Just news from table 2, Shevchuk is 4-2 up on Shane Van Boning.
Oh boy. Spoke to Shane in the practice room today. He said he finally got some decent sleep. He was sleeping a couple hours a day for the first 4 or 5 days, and that's the tough part about this big time change and flight. He's got work to do over there. Good luck to SVB. Look at this, Dave. He's come away somehow with a shot on the 2. Alcaide motioning for a ref. Wow, very hard to go through that ball forward without double hitting it, but he did. That was pretty clean.
Yeah, very much so. Referee was lurking as well to make sure.
Now this looks wide. Well, camera angle fooled me. Like to be right where he is now. After this 4. Don't know that he's going to risk getting that close to the 9. Nothing wrong with coming all the way up the left side either. Yeah, I don't know, Dave. This looks a little tricky. If it does play, he's coming into the purple at the angle where it could skid a little bit. That's why he's electing to go this route.
Taking his time extension.
Yeah, well, he's got a pocket down here on the lower right. Big moment for Alcaide. Oh, very big moment for Alcaide. What a clean strike that was. Comes away with a good shot on the green 6. That's just what the doctor ordered. If you're in the Spaniard's corner. Needs this to travel. Should be fine. Would have liked a couple more rotations. That might have to come. Yeah, felt like the whole time he was flirting with the 9. I was going to say he might have to come towards the 9 or the left side of the table. Wow. Going to the bank here. Just short. I'm assuming he had that in mind.
It sort of sums up the start he's made, really. I mean, the only impediment, obviously, to getting on the 8 was that 9, and he found it somehow. You could hear Marcel Eckhart calling out 10 and then 5 on the clock. Ignacio's taken an extension.
10.
This isn't going to end up easy. I wouldn't be shocked if Alcaide decides to bank this back down table and use the 9 as cover, or try to use the 9 as cover. He's taking a look at the cut, Dave.
Yeah, he's had a look at the angle for the pot. Big shot if he's taking this.
Yeah, and in your mind, when you're shooting that shot, you're kind of telling yourself, well, at worst, overcut the ball. 9 times out of 10, when you tell yourself that, well, that's what you do. And in all reality, he's trying to make the ball. Ignacio might take this bank on. And he has, and it looks pretty good.
Well, the key moment was Alcaide's shot from 7 to 8. Just covered himself on the 9, behind the 9, and here we go. This was 6-2. The little errors have got to be ironed out, haven't they, from the Spaniard? Otherwise, it's not going to be his day. It's just a few too many have crept in as the match has progressed. And 6-2, a handsome lead. 5 more needed for Jeffrey Ignacio to reach the World Championship quarter-finals. Van Boning now 5-2 down on table 2. Can watch that, of course, on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel, table 2. I'm sure that people have got various screens going, trying not to miss any of the action here. Tonight we go down to 2 tables. Having said that, of course, the junior final will be on table 2 at 7 local time. And of course, we'll have the 4 quarter-finals on the main 2 tables. Ignacio 6-2.
And the 1 rifling in the right middle, 2 tracking up to the top. I believe the brown 7 is just out in front. The cue ball. Or the cue ball just behind the brown 7. Either way. And now, getting a look, he's open to the 2, Dave.
Yeah. I was with you. I thought it was covered initially. The referee, quite rightly, had to do his job and get in the way there, but now we can see it, and so can he.
Long bridge. And I teach that in some of my classes, a long bridge, and he was kind of forced to there due to the 8. Much easier to find a mishit on the cue ball. Very few people can get away with those extremely long bridges. Shane Van Boning being one of them, Earl Strickland. But nowadays, a lot of these guys much more compact.
10. Call.
This very tricky. He's going forward. Is he going rail first? He is. It's grabbed, new cloth, and it's in the drink again.
Things are not getting any better, are they, to say the least? Shake of the head, a sort of slow walk back to the seat.
Yeah, you've got to know there, Dave, if you're going to go rail first, you've got to catch the thin part of that ball. You catch the thick part of that ball, it's going to kind of bend, meaning the cue ball. It won't straighten out in time. That's how he found the middle pocket. Looking at the one rail angle over for the 6 off the 5. Things starting to slip away.
Yeah, the thing is, in this sport, you only need one thing to go wrong per rack, and that could be it. It is a cutthroat kind of game. And certainly ball in hand is deadly, or at least in theory should be.
So we still have Chua, Ignacio, and Raga in this event.
Yeah, representing the powerhouse that is the Philippines. Still going wrong for Alcaide. Another scratch. Inviting Jeffrey Ignacio to step in and make this winning run, which he has done. 7-2, he's only 4 away. It's very one-sided, this, and it's good value for the lead. He's been given a few helping hands along the way. Alcaide can get nothing going, and his fortunes need to change very, very soon, otherwise his World Championship run will be over for another year. Joshua Filler 2-1 up on the main table. Van Boning still 5-2 down on table 2 with a chance to win the 8th rack there. And of course there is still a couple of matches to come in this round on tables 1 and 2. The main table has got just 2 matches, but we've got Fedor Gorst and Chris Melling after this one. And Victor Zielinski and Jean Grillo will be on table 2 after the Van Boning match. Here we go, 7-2.
Yeah, contact. The 9 actually tracking to the left middle. Doesn't have the gas. Did he get a shot on the blue? And I would say no, but he does have something up his sleeve, most likely. Maybe getting up here behind the pink. He's also got the green to get behind, unless he wants to come all the way down with the 2, which isn't bad, somewhere behind the 8, maybe. Yeah. Well, still done well here. He's got a lot of distance. That 8 going to cause problems for Alcaide to get the 2 clear. That's why you see the head shake. Not too many places he can go with this. As a matter of fact, if the cut is available, You know, typically when you hit that cut pretty bad, or halfway decent, I guess, it'll come back over. It might be the best way to get separation and get away with a shot. Oh, and you could just butter it in. Back and forth here. All focus on making the ball. Nicely done. This is natural now. He's got a flick of the hand like he doesn't like it, but don't make trouble that's not there, Alcaide. Thought he'd put a little check side on that to come more into the straight line. Put right English on the ball, and it's kind of tracked more towards the left center than the straight line that I thought he'd be on. He should be fine. But now he's got to do a little more work with the cue ball. And that was exactly what he needed.
Well, so far, this is his best rack. He just needs to finish it off. He's won plenty in his career, and they won't all have been from winning positions. He'll have had to fight back in matches. That's the task he's got now. He's won this rack, you would feel. 7-3 then. Still in trouble, but he's got the break back at least. Two Filler and Raga now, and Ramboning's pulled one back, so it's 5-3 down on the far side of the arena. Good crowding actually today, mainly watching the main table in the middle. And I'm sure tomorrow, for the last day, we'll see plenty in. Give the players the atmosphere they deserve for what is going to be one of the biggest days of Nineball pool we've ever seen. With the prize money, the prestige. The circuit really has, of course, grown under Matchroom, and plenty more to come. So certainly for the young guys, it's a great time to be playing the game, travelling the world. As David Alcaide gets rack 11 underway, trails 7-3.
Needs a good break here. And that's a start. Yeah, he's not thrilled with the kiss, but this isn't bad. Get the 2 down. 3 is in a good position. You can play the 2 to the lower left, draw 1 rail out below the right middle. 1 ball at a time, David. Yeah, it looked good there. Backswing was very fluid, not quick. Nicely controlled. Gonna go forward here for the pink 4 in the lower right. Oof, got the thin side. Taking a good look at where he wants to be. Yeah, it's now. You don't want to flirt with the 7, so I believe, depending on what line he's got, I believe he's gonna, well, I think he can still put it in the side. Playing it up in the corner position is tricky. So going to the left middle. Oh, very well handled. Most likely power out here. One rail below the left side pocket.
Set.
Or, yes, below the left side pocket.
5.
Yeah, he's kind of did this earlier. Came up on the cue ball a little bit. He's got distance now. Big shot to come for David. Wanted to stay through that ball through the low end. He's kind of come up on it. Now, is he forced to come to the short side of the 8? Really quick in the backswing, David.
Yes, and he sort of kind of looks to the heavens.
And we've talked about it, and it's common knowledge. The long ball can be David's weakness at times.
Extension call.
That was all a result of coming up on the cue ball. The shot prior, if he stays low and through the ball, he should have gotten nice and tight on the 7. So a big chance for Ignacio to extend the lead. Oh, wow. Missed the middle.
Ah. Well, he seemed to hit that so well, but just caught the bump. So came back for the 8 and stopped the cue ball in its tracks.
Oh, gosh. Such a good hit. So tricky to clip that ball that thin.
And also to immediately have the composure to play that shot, having gone wrong. Okay, it's gone wrong, let's play a good shot, and he has.
Interesting. Just trying to leave distance here. Really focused on getting that cue ball to the top rail. Yeah. Big opportunity for Ignacio here. Not what the doctor ordered for Alcaide.
Well, again, it was a rat where Alcaide had the chance. Another one is surely going to slip by. He just hasn't played well, let's be honest, by his very high standards, and time's running out now. 8-3. Ignacio steals another one. And he's only 3 away now from the quarterfinals. Van Boning 6-3 down now to Shevchuk on table 2. Filler 3-2 up and Anton Raga on the main table. The arena, just to explain, has been reconfigured. The main tables are still where they are, but the back tables have all gone, the outside tables that we've been using all week. So it's just a more sort of intimate feel, more serious feel. As Ignacio steps out, we will return when he returns. So Jeffrey Ignacio returning in a very, very strong position. 8-3, David Alcaide just sitting, contemplating things as his opponent prepares to break in rack 12. 3 away from the last 8 here.
One is down. Cue ball. Got kissed. He's going to get a look at the 2. And you see there the cue ball getting the flick off the bottom of the 9. Long, tricky shot on the 2. If you hit this too hard, I think you bend the cue ball into the back of the pink. If you can hit it smooth, there's a chance of beating it. Getting back down here for the 3. Hard to tell. Yeah, he didn't like any of it. Was concerned about going into the back of the 4.
Well, that 2 was could have finished anywhere, couldn't it? It was running around.
Oh, and that's actually a good point, right? I mean, it just seems like kind of how it's gone in the last 2 matches here. The one who's leading is getting the good fortune.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of dog let off the leash, wasn't it? It could have just finished up anywhere, but he didn't leave a pot.
Oh, wow. Pretty classy.
Yeah, he's refusing to let Alcaide see anything here, keeping the pressure on, because he knows he's under it.
Might have to hit this with a little pace to get some separation. Well, know whether that kiss helped or hurt Alcaide. See what he had in mind. He's got most of it right. Alcaide can have a good 2-rail kick behind this ball with some pretty good control. He's very good at this shot. Cue ball going to stay down here. Can't ask for much more. I don't believe this is makeable, and if it is, he's still got a lot of work to do. You notice the 6 and 8 pretty tight up there.
Set. Extension called.
Going to the jump cue. Looking to punch out here. He's going to have to deal with the green sooner or later. Will he do it off the 4? Will he just play through to the 6. Figure something out at that point. Yeah, I don't see really any future, David, in drawing into the 8 or 6 here because of where the 5 is at. I don't think you can get position. So he's looking at this line. Yeah, a little weak. Just a fraction. Not going to be thrilled with it. Might be able to catch the bottom edge of the 6 here, but he's not happy with it.
Just keep going.
So I think the most important job right now is just getting this ball down. What's he got in mind from here? Going up behind the 9? Using the 8 at the same time? Yeah, that's what he's looking at. Well, he's left the 6. He's left the 6, David.
Yeah, he was sort of walking back, sort of gesturing to something. He just seems uncomfortable out there. He's uncomfortable with the table. He's uncomfortable with himself in the way he's playing. But
Yeah, so he must not have been able to make the 6 in the lower right. So I think he was trying to hold him on the 8 and send the 6 around 4 rails there. Just kind of caught it too thin. And once again, with that extreme high ball on this new cloth, it's easy to flatten it out. Hard to get it all the way back down.
it was mighty thin and it stayed up. He was always going to, of course, if he missed it. Stay over that pocket. Ignacio may be surprised by the extent to which Alcaide is struggling. Frankly, it's not his problem. He's here to try and win the match. And he's getting closer and closer to doing exactly that. This is a bit of a nightmare for Alcaide. Ignacio once again picks up the pieces. So 9-3, and he's only 2 away now from the quarterfinals. We know that he'll play Eklen Kashi if he does come through. And of course, Johan Chua awaiting the winner of the match on the main table between Joshua Filler and Anton Raga, which is currently 3-3. Raga looks like he's about to go 4-3. So the Filipinos having a great day so far.
mentioned something, you know, and it probably does weigh pretty true. Efren Reyes in the building. I was fortunate enough to get to greet him as he pulled up outside, but that's got to motivate these guys, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it does. You want to impress him, don't you? It's as simple as that, really.
Absolutely.
A bit like having your mum and dad in the front row, isn't it? You know, you want to impress them. So here we go, 9-3.
Wow. Just short with the one. Does he come between the 7 and 9 here? Oh, he's got room to just roll. Really, David, no excuse here to not get out. He has to. Time is not on his side.
Exactly, it's now or never, really, isn't it? If he doesn't start here, it's not going to start at all. The comeback, it's still a massive ask, but it has to start here.
This will be alright. He can drop down just below the 9. This is good.
All these players have a tremendous sense of professional pride. Even if they're struggling, you cannot afford to let your head drop. You've got to try and make something happen, fight tooth and nail, and just hope that your opponent might start to feel it. Alcaide, you're going to get the break back. Because he's won this rack, so 9-4. It was a very promising position when he came to the table, but he had to control things because he has been struggling this afternoon, but the afternoon's not done yet. I can tell you Shevchek's now 7-4 up on Van Boning on table 2. Raga 4-3 over Filler on the main table.
Yeah, the last American hope. On this side, anyway. Needs to come alive. Fetter Gorst. Up later.
Yeah, he's going to play Chris Melling on this table, so we'll have that for you. Michael and Carl will be here for that, but will be streamed here after this match.
Oh no. The white chasing the one down into the left middle. Flick off the green 6. Par for the course for Alcaide. Steady hands. Mr. Referee. A little trouble with the 6 and 9. Is he looking to flick off of the 9 now? Tricked me there. Going forward, boy, really accelerated. Can he draw back below the purple? Friendly rub. Yeah, this is pretty steep. Looking to come 2 rails below the 6 and 9 here. From what it looks. No need to crash into either of those balls. If you get anywhere beneath the 6, it's trouble for Alcaide. Well, I said anywhere. Except there. There's a chance, being elevated over the 7, that something could go wrong.
Yeah, it's gone about as awkward as it could actually in terms of the queuing here.
Yeah, and that's wide. Is it going to drop?
I wasn't sure, but it's in, so that could be Alcaide's last chance to get back into this now, because it's surely going to be 10-4. Raga 5-3. Of course, Chua's already won. What a session for the Filipino trio. Alcaide scratched from the break. And Jeffrey Ignacio's on the hill at 10-4. Well, anything can happen, of course, in sport, but if David Alcaide win this match, I think we're talking about it for a while, because there's just no sign of it, really.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It just seems kind of stagnant on his side. And it was kind of that way last night against Shaw. That's, you know, that's just how scratchy that match was. Very intense match, very good match for the fans. But, you know, it was hit and miss.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Of course, no one wants to lose, but, you know, you can lose a match where you play really well and you go away feeling you've done nothing wrong. I think Alcaide would agree that it's not been the case this afternoon. Here we go then, 10-4. Ignacio needing 1 for victory.
Well, the 1 is down. Like usual, the 2 dressing up to the bottom right, I believe. Yes, and it has. The 3 passes the 8, David. Could it be curtains for Alcaide?
I think he would certainly fear so as he looks at the table. Not that he's doing that, he's actually looking away, but when he glances back, he knows it's a good chance for Ignacio. What a terrific display from him overall. He's done very little wrong in this match.
look at this play. I really like the play. Rail first to wrap around instead of playing the 3 all the way to the top right. Pretty clever.
So all about holding steady to reach his first World Championship quarter-final.
He's the type of player that really doesn't allow enough time for anything negative to get in his head. It seems to me that every match he's played this week, and I've kept a pretty good eye on him, speaking of Ignacio, he's gotten stronger. Is Jeffrey ready to take this event down? He's 4 balls away from locking up $27,000 and a chance at a grand prize of $250,000. And to me, David, he's looked really good this match for the most part.
Yeah, there's been very few sort of unforced errors. You always get the odd mistake, of course, but in the key moments he's been very solid, actually. Not more so really than this. This is to win it. 2 more balls to go. David Alcaide will be very disappointed not to have produced better play, but hats off to his opponent here. Jeffrey Ignacio is into the quarterfinals of the World Pool Championship for the first time. Every credit to him. He held himself together superbly. When the chance came in the last rack, he took it out, and he is absolutely delighted. So a second Filipino is through to the last 8, and coming up shortly, we've got Fed August against Chris Smelling for you.